a little bit late. The Goons were doing their playoff picks and decided to run overtime, but it's okay because, well, I guess I love them all, and they're here with us anyway. With us tonight, we got King Goon, who is styling and profiling. Those glasses, man, those glasses. Tank, proprietor of Knox Nostalgia Collectibles. And my husband, Gull Dagoon, who has voted that the Packers will win the game this upcoming weekend because he'd like to have sex again in his lifetime. Even though we all know that that's not going to, the sex is going to happen, but the Packers winning isn't. I say that as a Packers fan. Okay, so we're just going to jump right into what we have on the agenda today. And we just had, was the Golden Globes?
Mm-hmm.
And also there's been a couple of film adaptations or TV adaptations of books that we've been talking about. So we're going to go ahead and talk about our favorite and least favorite book to screen adaptations. Can be the big screen, can be the small screen. All right. I would start with my husband, but he doesn't know how to read. So Tank, let's start with you.
I knew that was coming.
You're not wrong.
Word for word.
You're not wrong.
Okay, so
You guys want to see the book I actually read, though?
sure.
I did read most of this.
That was his Christmas present last
book.
year.
Oh, Invincible.
It's the Compendium 1 of Invincible.
Nice.
It's really good. Anyways.
So least
Start with, least favorite.
I'm gonna go with the Dresden Files.
I can agree with that.
That one
It's
season,
not my least, but it was shit.
that one season that they did of that show, based on the Dresden book series by Jim Butcher, was horrendous and made me actively angry.
Yeah, it was so bad. I could actually sit through a full episode of that one, though, yelling at the TV, but I could at least keep it on. My least favorite, I didn't. All right. King Goon.
I was going to get super like old guy and say North Dallas 40, but I'm pretty sure that most of the people here have neither read nor seen it. But as the resident old geek on the panel, I'm going to go old school. I do and have in my past read a ton of classic science fiction, and that awful, most terrible, crappy movie, Battlefield Earth, was just an abomination and should never have seen the light of day. Just the movie itself was bad. But honorable mention in terms of true to the storyline and true to the original content, Apple and their adaptation of Foundation, the series itself was very good. Not a whole lot to do with the original series. I mean, they put some stuff in there, and there's some other stuff coming that might get better, but the series is very good. It's worth a watch, but I'm like, this is not what Asimov wrote at all.
In defense of Apple, Isaac Asimov is a wordy motherfucker, and that the Foundation books, that it takes a minute to get through the beginnings of those books.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It
I
takes a
started
minute,
reading them when
yeah.
I was 12.
Did you finish last year?
No, I got through all of them.
But
Not when he was 12, though. It
Yeah.
took more time than that.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
a
I think I was
wordy
14 when
motherfucker
I
right
finally
there.
finished. They are verbose. Asimov was out there. But
He liked
yeah.
to say stuff.
Oh,
Yeah,
All
he
right,
did.
babe,
He did.
you're up. Least favorite.
Least favorite, probably Mortal Engines. I had a lot of high hopes for that. Like a lot of high hopes, and it looked really cool. And it was just a mess. I was just so disappointed. Yeah, that's it. Just Mortal Engines. It was okay, and I didn't want it to be okay, and that makes it awful.
I am actually going to stick with Tank and go with a TV series that was it was so bad. I threw things. I yelled
Flames.
flames on the side of my face.
Flames.
And that was the TV show Seeker, based on Terry Goodkind's Sword of Truth. In the first 5 minutes, it veers so far away from the books. Like first episode, first 5 minutes, right? Richard doesn't know Zed at all. Like has never talked to him. It's like, oh yeah, this old dude who lives in the woods. Their relationship is a huge part of the whole series because he's his grandfather, for fuck's sake. Right? And that's just like
Interesting start. Yeah.
That's terrible.
it was so bad. I've tried to go back and watch a full episode and I can't. It makes me so angry that I can't even make it through an entire episode.
Flames.
So Seeker, there's a reason why it didn't get picked up again, and I'm very glad that it's gone forever. And I hope whoever did that adaptation wakes up with fire into their bed.
That's a good one.
May a diseased
Luckily-
yak leave a memento on your hope chest. That's what she
Yeah,
says.
right. Luckily, none of us are a part of that, so we're all safe here.
Mm-hmm.
That is my current level of ire. Okay. Favorite book to screen adaptation. Now, this can be your favorite. Let's do 2 categories. Favorite as far as, you thought that it was the best interpretation of the source material, or favorite as in the best to watch and it wasn't a letdown. Because in my mind, those are 2 different things.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, okay.
I was considering Game of Thrones because even though they did change stuff, it was a very well done, especially the first few seasons were very well done. But actually, I'm going to think we'll go a little bit older. I'm going to go with To Kill a Mockingbird. The
Okay.
book to movie translation was very well done. And even though it's an older movie and obviously a very old book at this point, I think it's still really well done to the point where people should watch it now
I
and
agree.
read it.
The play of To Kill a Mockingbird is also very good and
Yeah,
sticks very
fantastic.
close to the source material.
It was really good. It was really good.
Yeah. Okay, so that's best as far as source material. Best that you think, or your favorite that you just enjoy watching.
I think I'm going to go with actually the Harry Potter series, especially the first couple, and then they kind of got weird once they hit Goblet of Fire, but overall they did a pretty good job of tapering down some of the story to fit it into, reasonably length movies. And I really enjoyed those, and I still watch them. So,
Okay.
I've been watching those a lot lately, and the first few I get whiplash watching because there's just so much story that they're trying to cover in such a short period of time. But I think that once you get to Goblet of Fire and those, I think that's where I start liking the movies more. Goblet of Fire, Half-Blood Prince. That's where, to me, where it gets a little bit more darker and the story gets more interesting to me. But I'm with you; those are good.
I definitely have some major areas of contention with the Harry Potter movies.
so do I.
But I agree. They are great to watch. Right now, we have a niece who is reading the Harry Potter series for the first time. And her older sister will not allow her to watch any of the movies until she has finished the book prior.
God, dang it, Nuggets.
So just shout out to Sarah
Yeah,
for
goodness.
whatever's
She's,
going on.
she's
there.
watching the Nuggets game, and they're
Yeah.
down
Okay.
by 14.
Oh,
early.
shit.
So it's
You know,
23-9.
Yeah.
Holy buckets.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there are no buckets. That's the problem.
And also a shout out to Ella for being a good big sister and forcing her sister to read the books first.
You know, I did that. I decided I wasn't going to watch that. I'd started watching one of the Harry Potter movies, and then I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do this until I read the books. So when I was, when I had my big crisis in 2018, Michelle and Michaela, actually dipshit, brought over the Harry Potter books, and I read them, and then I watched the movies right afterwards. So I'm with it. I like that.
All right. Matt, what do you
All
got?
right, so I've got an honorable mention for True to Story,
Okay.
and that's House of the Dragon. There's not a lot of depth in terms of the written word there, but the story that they're telling is extraordinarily true to the story of the Targaryens 300 years before the events of Game of Thrones. In terms of best to watch, again, I'm going to go old guy here. And in true to the story, Arthur C. Clarke's 2001: A Space Odyssey is absolutely spectacular. And in typical sequel fashion, they butchered the next one, the Roy Scheider Abomination 2010.
Yeah, that was terrible.
That was awful, just awful. But 2001 is one of the classics, both in written word and in film. For my all-time favorite, this one is always near and dear to my heart, and there have been several attempts at doing this movie. One of them was so bad and never got off the ground, they actually made a documentary about how bad it was going to be and how awful and off the wall that the director was going to be with it. The first installment just came out a couple years ago, and the next installment's coming out here in a couple 3 months. Yep. Dune is Dune. That movie, the most recent iteration, is as close to you can get with that 700-page book, and they did it almost perfectly. It's absolutely genius, and I can't wait to go see the next one.
Yeah, we actually talked about that right after the movie came out. It's so good and sticks so close. And I will watch the previous movies of Dune, and Children of Dune, but that's more of a to mock them. I enjoy them. Don't get me wrong.
The Sci-Fi Channel versions weren't terrible, right? They just
I actually
weren't.
like those better.
They weren't great
than the original one because I feel like it's more in depth. But
David Lynch was just making shit up.
Yeah,
like the weirding way became people shouting and shit blowing up.
That's David Lynch.
Yeah,
there were a lot of chemicals going on there.
It was fun to watch, but Jesus Christ, that was terrible.
Imbalance of chemicals.
Yeah. That one was definitely, I would say, a fun to watch. Is the old Dune. But New Dune, absolutely closest to the source material and really good to watch.
And if you're a fan of the series, and Dune is definitely on my Mount Rushmore of any book series ever, having read every single thing that Frank wrote, every single thing that Brian wrote after that. The documentary on Netflix about Todorovsky's attempt to the 70s is absolutely brilliant. You gotta, if you like that series at all, you got to go watch that documentary about
You'll have to add that to our list.
Yeah, that needs to go on the list, I guess.
Yeah, it's great. It is great. And some of the pictures and the drawings and shit, you're like, what was he thinking? Like, it would have blown David Lynch's out of water. And it would have been done before. It was going to be done in the 70s, right? It was crazy. So
that's okay. All right, love. So source material and best to watch.
So I'm going to go way off the beaten path here. Mine is not a matter of sticking to the source material as much it is a matter of taking the source material, taking something, making it extraordinarily awesome, and throwing a little bit of the source material in there on the side. And that is Starship Troopers. That fucking movie is.
You couldn't get
There-
further from the source material.
There is no further straying from the source material that you could possibly have.
Oh
I'm
my
not going to
God.
put this as your source material pick. I'm going to put this as the fun to watch pick.
Fun to
Oh no,
watch.
that's my source material pick because the
For
the actual
fuck's sake.
movie is so the actual book is not that good. But it does have a lot to say about like big military and that kind of thing. And they have moments of that in the movie where they're poking fun at big military and kind of the big brother thing. And that part of like keeping to the source material tongue-in-cheekly amuses the shit out of me.
Yeah, you got a good point. 'cause
My dad had a
their-
CEO who made all of his officers read the book.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
It-
At their core, both of them are anti-fascist diatribes.
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying is it doesn't keep
and this
there's the base story that is completely different from the book to the movie, but what the point was of both movies comes across or in the movie and the book. The point is still the same.
yeah, I see where you're going
Comes
with that.
across very well. It is very well written
I dig
for
it.
its time, and it's a fun watch. It's a
fun
great
watch.
I have one question. Would you like to know more?
That fucking movie's so good,
It's
man.
so good. Yeah.
Fun to watch. I'm gonna have to go with The Shining on this one. Again, not super close to the way that it was written, but Kubrick has such a great imagination that it's such a fun movie to watch. And Jack Nicholson, come on, bro. That's like peak Jack, man. Like that's Jack at his best. So that just great movie.
Okay. All right. For me, source material is going to be the newest version of Lemony Snicket's that Neil Patrick Harris did for Netflix.
Yeah, that was good.
Where each book was 2 episodes. So you're looking at, 2 to 2.5 hours per book. And they stopped the series when the written material was done. I actually reread the books when the TV show came out, and I was really impressed with how close it was to the source material. Neil Patrick Harris is one of my favorite actors of all time. I am so completely in love with him. I know he doesn't play for my team, but I just want to snuggle.
She would.
He actually does play for your team, and that's the issue.
He also likes dudes.
You're on the same team. You need to be on opposite teams.
Okay, well, point is, he doesn't like what I have in my pants, but I've met him. He's lovely, and I loved that interpretation. I thought it was really good.
Patrick Warburton.
Yeah,
is amazing. I love Patrick Warburton. He's so good.
The casting in that was just phenomenal.
So good.
So yeah, source material, also a good watch. It'll take you a little while because it's 12 episodes?
Yeah.
And each one's a little more than an hour. But highly recommend. And then hold on, I'm writing down notes. So see, my fun to watch. I was actually talking about this with a girl at work today, and Stardust was one that came up for us. And I was like, you know what? Not super close to the source material, but it helps that I watched the movie before I ever read the book. And I'm thinking that's why I like it so much. But such a fantastic movie, great cast. You get De Niro in drag, because we always knew he was a whoopsie. So yeah, I'd say my fun to watch is going to be Stardust.
I'm with it. Those are good lists. I've seen most of that stuff. I have not read very much of it.
Shout out to American Gods too.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
You know what? If you're going with that, just most of the Neil Gaiman interpretations as well. Why am
Good
I?
Omens.
Thank you.
Good
Good Omens
Omens.
also.
Yeah,
Sandman.
Martin
Sandman.
Sheen and not
Yeah,
Martin
Sandman
Sheen.
was good. Michael Sheen.
Michael Sheen, thank you, and David Tennant.
Mhm.
Those two.
Season 2 is pretty good,
Yeah, the ending.
and your guy's in it.
The fucking ending of that shit.
I know.
That we both took. It stopped, and we both looked at each other. Was that fucking it?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Here comes season 3.
Oh, I know, but it's gonna be a while.
Yeah, I know.
It's gonna be a while.
It's gonna be a while for everything.
Right.
Yeah. There are a lot of really good, book to screen adaptations. There are a lot of really terrible book to screen adaptations. But I'm going to use this as a segue and jump around in our agenda a bit and go to Percy Jackson, the new show that just premiered on Disney. Was it 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
I think it's 3 now.
So Percy Jackson and the Olympians, great read, really good YA, highly recommend. It's been compared to Harry Potter a lot, but it's a completely different story and the way it's written. So the Disney show is sticking to the series, sticking to the book really well. There's obviously some variations already, but they're also having like each episode is a chapter from the book. So
That's
I know that Tank and Mark have watched at least some of it.
Oh yeah,
how much have you gotten through?
I watched up to the most recent episode today. I had time, so
We did not watch the one that came out yesterday.
We watched through 4, and I really enjoyed it. The characters are super believable. The monsters are very creepy without being scary. As far as like the human monsters, not necessarily like the the CGI monsters, but like the evil characters that they bring in to unleash the monsters of Medusa and that kind of thing. They're creepy without being scary. It's a fun watch. It's a lot of fun watch. The one, and I wouldn't even call it an issue, but every time we turn it on, I'm reminded of Captain America just because of the music. The theme music is very close to the Captain America theme.
yeah, it kind of is.
Very close.
Captain America is kind of demigod-esque. He's a superhuman. It counts.
What if Captain America is Percy Jackson?
Wrong timeline.
But not in
Yeah.
What If. Anybody can be anything in What If,
No.
right?
No.
I mean, potentially. Have you watched season 2?
Yep.
Not yet. Not yet.
But no, it's overall very well done. Much better than the movies that they
Agreed.
attempted. And like you said, they're sticking a lot closer to the actual story. And I think that's the way that you have to approach books like this. I think it's better to break them down into smaller parts, such as they're doing with the TV series. And I think it makes it more entertaining overall to get little pieces of it, and rather than trying to jam everything into 2 hours.
One of the things I really appreciate about the way Amazon, Netflix, Disney, the way they're doing the book adaptations in general is they're doing episodes anywhere from 45 to an hour and 15, right? But each episode is just a tiny portion of the book. And then there can be several episodes that make up the story. So you could be looking at the same book for 4 to 5 hours, worth of TV show.
Yeah.
And you couldn't really do that with a movie, which is why Dune is in 2 parts. Because there's so much story to tell. If you try to jam it all in, then you end up missing a lot of the important stuff.
I think the this is a little bit like the Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings editions. The popularity of the remakes of those movies, not remakes, but the re-editing of those movies and the popularity of them. They're still playing those movies in theaters. The new edits, the Peter Jackson edits, and I feel like the retelling of those stories has made it easier for these big studios to be like, well, if we break these down into smaller chunks and turn it into a show, it's way easier to tell the story and we can get more run out of it. And I feel like that those Lord of the Rings adaptations have really kind of helped with this, foster this whole thing.
Yeah.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay, moving right along. Again, jumping around on the agenda because there was a good segue here. Mark mentioned Captain America, so we're going to jump over to the MCU. And it has been officially announced that Daredevil and the Defenders saga is moving over to Disney Plus. It's all officially canon, and we may end up seeing these characters in upcoming films. I personally really like Jessica Jones. I have a little Funko Pop of her, which is lovely. And I got to go to a panel of the Defenders right before the show came out. So the guy who played Luke Cage, Daredevil, and Iron Fist were all there at Denver Comic-Con.
Nice.
A few years ago, and just listening to them talk about filming and the story development. What do you guys think?
I know Matt likes these a lot.
I do. I always considered them to be part of canon, especially once Daredevil showed up in a couple of different places. And now that we were getting the Daredevil show as well,
and Kingpin.
Yeah,
Kingpin's in a couple of things too.
Right. It's well deserved. Iron Fist, I could take or leave. I don't know if they necessarily treated that one as well as they could have. One of the very first comic books I can remember ever reading was Luke Cage and Iron Fist. It was a combo book. So that those two characters have always been dear to my heart, and we've talked a bunch about how fun Luke Cage was, and how the atmosphere and the setting was as much a character as anything else. I need more Punisher in my life. I mean, that particular version of Punisher is a one that, and I've seen a couple of fan adaptations, and there's that one on YouTube out there, the Laundromat, that's kind of fun, but that Netflix series was as close to what they could have done and what they have done with Punisher. It's just a ton of fun. Defenders in and of itself it was brutal. It was supposed to be, right? I mean, it was just visceral in its tone, and not just what you saw, but what you felt. Right? You felt the pain, both physical and what he was feeling, in his heart and in his head. Defenders was okay, but it was what it was. But I love Jessica Jones. I thought it was great. It's always been canon to me, but about time they put it in there. Let's go.
Yeah. So I just like that they're announcing it's actually no, you guys do count. I promise. It's like they didn't even get to sit at the table. They had to stand outside and face up against the glass, and now they're allowed in, which I think is great. Echo, which premieres, was it this week, next week?
Today.
Yeah, all of it dropped today.
All of it dropped.
Fabulous. Defenders will be featured in some of that.
I only have two. Well, okay, Finn Jones was not good as Iron Fist. I'm going to go ahead and throw that out there. Iron Fist is a great character. That dude's performance was super flat. So hopefully they either got him some acting lessons or they're replacing him.
Fair point.
The only other issue, and I guess it's not really a big issue, Mahershala Ali already played Cottonmouth in Luke Cage, and he's about to be Blade, so that's kind of interesting. And David Tennant's joining the MCU as a different character that's not Kilgrave.
Yeah.
From Jessica Jones. So
Yeah, so it's weird that this is canon, but the actors are going to be other people.
yeah, that's kind of awkward. And I know they've done stuff like that before, but that does make it awkward.
Yeah.
Sometimes
It'll
because you'll be
weird
watching
the first few bits of it.
Yeah, you
But
roll
I
in.
love David Tennant as Kilgrave. He was so creepy.
He was an
so
awesome
good.
Kilgrave. Yeah, and
Like-
Mahershala Ali as Cottonmouth was amazing. He played that dark drug lord perfectly, and and switching him into Blade is going to be kind of funny. But I am glad that they did it overall because hopefully we get all the characters returning.
Yeah.
Especially with John Barenthal as Punisher. That was
he was so good,
so brutal, and like you were saying, Matt, he was so brutal. But it was such a good story because you really got to feel his suffering through the entire series that they did, and they made it mean something. They made his anger and his pain mean something, and it was very well done. So,
if the actor's good enough, I don't think it matters if they play multiple roles, right? I mean, big Hollywood has been doing this for decades.
Yeah.
We've had multiple. We've had a single actors play multiple Bond girls. We've had the same actor play bad guys in two different roles in two different Bond movies, just as an example, right? That shit just happens all the time. I'm not too concerned
as
about
long as the actor can carry it off, and I think these
right.
guys
And
can.
I think those guys, yeah, and David Tennant. I mean, we could have our own podcast just and talk for 3 hours about David Tennant. And
yeah, we could definitely do a
right
David
now.
Tennant cast.
As long as I get to include Georgia Tennant stuff because I love her.
Right.
Absolutely.
And I'm as thrilled as anybody with Mahershala Ali as Blade. I think it's just going to be absolutely perfect. I mean, there's always going to be, old head out there. Well, he's not Wesley Snipes. Well, neither is Wesley Snipes anymore. So get over it. Okay. But I mean,
shout out to that original series of movies, though. They were,
of course.
Yeah, they're great.
Christ.
Yeah. If you don't have Blade, if you don't have Blade, you don't have the MCU.
No.
Because Blade showed you could actually do this stuff and make money. And if you don't have Blade, you don't have Deadpool for sure. Because now you can also do it and have a rated R.
Right.
Right. And the gore in the second one is some of my favorite on-screen blood ever.
Well, and even that opening sequence at the dance club.
Oh
yeah,
I still have that song on every playlist I own. That song
I know you do. We have to hear it a lot.
I love it. It's 10 and a half minutes long. It's so good. It's great road trip fodder. But they've done it before, right? And as long as the actors are good enough, it's not like they're trotting out some extra to do something twice. These guys are well prepared and good actors. I think they'll be able to pull it off.
And there's been enough of a gap, I think, as well.
So does that mean we're getting Human Torch versus Captain America, both played by Chris Evans?
Cool. That would be cool.
To your point, it's been done.
At the end of Deadpool 2, he goes back and shoots the Green Lantern. So
that'd be kind of cool. Deadpool 3 opening sequence, Chris Evans fighting himself. Just randomly inserted into the opening of Deadpool 3.
Hey, it's the multiverse. Do what you want.
Yeah, absolutely.
I support this plan. Okay. Moving right along, staying over on Disney and Mandalorian and Grogu. Star Wars, we all got to know and love the Mandalorian and Baby Yoda. I don't care. His name is Grogu. I get that. He's always going to be Baby Yoda. It's just what it is. But they are going to move from the small screen to the big screen. We will be seeing them in films. There's not a ton of detail yet, but they're starting production on the movie this year. Really anything that Favreau touches, I'm okay with. If he says it's going to be good, I'm in.
Happy's awesome. We like Happy.
And he's finally getting his big screen thing for Star Wars,
Yeah.
which is well deserved at this point.
Absolutely.
Well, he's the
He
guy that
saved
saves
Star
Star Wars, right?
Yeah.
The Mandalorian's his brainchild.
Yeah,
Yeah,
him and
he
Tom.
saved
And
Star Wars.
And the very cool thing about this, and when I saw this news, my initial reaction was, well, duh, this was coming anyway. We knew there was going to be a Mandoverse movie. But the other part of the news that came out is that they're going to the big screen and then back because they're going to do season 4. So we're going to get multiple bits of all these different stories. And then we're also going to get a Mandoverse movie at the end of it that ties Ahsoka and Thrawn and Mando and all this together in one nice, hopefully neat little package that might take 2 or 3 movies to actually tell the story. But good for Favreau. You know, Filoni's got his fingerprints all over it. Go for it.
Absolutely.
Let's go. It's going to be great.
Yeah. And they're saying like they're working on season 2 of Ahsoka.
Yep.
We'll see a lot of that as well. And it's all going to tie together, which,
It's great.
super excited.
Mm-hmm.
It's good stuff. He's good.
All right. So that's
Is it
enough
good?
of that topic because
He's
we've
good.
already said we like it and we're excited. Let's talk about a movie that we were excited about until we watched it. And that was Rebel Moon.
They got problems.
What's that they decided to rip off every sci-fi franchise ever and make a compilation movie out of it?
They got lots of problems. So
Oh, is it Charlie Hunnam's accent? That's one of them.
accents.
Yeah, multiple accents.
Yeah,
That's
he
right.
went full Robin Hood.
He went from English to Irish to
Irish,
American to
yeah.
Scottish
Oh,
to
yeah.
what the fuck, dude?
He was all the fuck over the
Stay,
place.
yeah, stay in one lane, please. On this,
Visually, very cool.
Mhm.
Visually, really, really well put together and well shot. But the story makes no sense getting there. It makes
And it's
zero sense.
super rushed.
Yes.
Like they put this band of people together and you get like 4 minutes to figure out how they put each one of these people in the group. And I should go back and rewatch it because maybe I missed it. But when the hell was the slave prince? Like that just came out of nowhere, didn't it? Or did I just miss that?
No, that
no,
came,
that
out, of
came out
nowhere.
of nowhere.
no.
Okay, that's what I thought. Like, yes.
It's because they piecemealed Stargate, Star Wars, and Dune, and said we're going to take bits and pieces, and then we're going to make this. And
Episodes from Star Trek: The Next Generation seasons 3 and 4 are in
Yeah.
there.
Mhm.
You know, like,
they literally piecemealed a
Right.
sci-fi movie together using other franchises.
I think there
Shit.
was some pitch black shit in there.
And we've already
Oh,
got a
God.
release date for the sequel.
Yeah. If you stuck around and watched the trailer, like, yay, April 24th. Woohoo.
And the
I
visuals
don't watch it when it
were-
comes out just so I can say I watched the end of it, and so
Oh,
I can
yeah.
see
I
if they
mean,
actually do anything to fix any of the
Yeah.
giant plot holes that they have.
no,
it'll be 3 bourbons deep at midnight. That's what.
It's
Oh
a-
yeah, yeah.
it's a sci-fi B movie at its at its core. That's what it is. And the visuals were good, but the biggest problem is there was no representation of scale because apparently this is supposed to be a gigantic war of some kind.
Right.
But all
and
of
they
the
tell you that, you
fights
just don't
were
really see it.
Did
Yeah.
they leave the planet?
Yeah.
They never leave the planet, right?
Yeah.
No, they
they,
did.
they,
Different
they went
planet.
back to the
they
moon.
went to a couple different planets supposedly.
Yeah.
But you never see like anybody else fighting.
That's what I'm saying. There's
Right.
Yeah.
there's no scale of war.
It is
at
the
all.
chillest war ever.
Right.
The entire fucking empire is going to war on this one little town that won't give up their farm.
Yeah.
And
Against 8
apparently is
people.
hiding it, and this whole fucking enterprise or whatever, it's just awfully written.
Right. And it's not just a bunch of hodgepodge bits of other sci-fi shit. They also took all that stuff, put it in a box, and wrote on the side of it, Episode 4, A New Hope, and then filmed that. Because the whole thing is Episode 4, A New Hope, with a couple of different bits of Star Wars lumped into it. You get an Emperor, you got a Darth Vader, you got all kinds of bullshit going on.
Yeah, there's a Chewbacca too.
Yeah, the witches of Dathomir show up somewhere. I'm like, what is going on in this fucking movie?
Right.
Like, I was excited. It was supposed to be the Zack Snyder Star Wars script, and now I know why Kathleen Kennedy passed on it, because it's absolute hot garbage. It was terrible.
I remember the first time we saw the trailer, it was during a pro football game.
Blown away.
And the three of us were down, with the in-laws, and we were watching football, and like, there's no silence in that house. Like, there's no silence. And when that trailer started running, all of us just
Ella too.
turned, stopped, and stared. Like, this looks fucking awesome.
I thought it was
Visually
based on a video
outstanding.
game with the way
looked-
the graphics were.
It absolutely
Mhm.
looked like a Halo type thing,
Absolutely visually outstanding, and the biggest pile of steaming crap that I have been. I'm mad at myself for having watched the damn thing. I should have waited,
know.
because I watched it when it came out. Like that day, I'm like, "Ooh, Rebel Moon's on! I'm gonna watch it. This is gonna be awesome."
Well,
2 hours and 15 minutes later, because that's how long that sucker runs. I timed it. Don't worry, I'll let you know.
it
I
makes
sat
me
there
wonder,
and
too.
went, "What in the holy fuck did I just waste my time on?"
I
This is-
colored.
I
cooked
turned it
dinner.
on and I'm sitting there like, Matt and Tank, their opinions aren't right all the time. Maybe this is different. You guys were right. It was.
Well, and it makes you wonder.
I,
Like,
I
here's a
tried to
just
go
like
in there
to-
positively too.
I
I
would
was
just
like,
like right now for somebody to call hell and check the temperature, because all three of these guys agree on a movie being crap.
I was trying to be positive about it, like 100%.
Oh, so was
I
I.
try to find the good in all of it.
Well,
And
I
the
went into
only
it super
thing I
positive.
can find is how visually stunning the graphics are.
Right.
Like it's very well shot.
Mhm.
But
That's
other than
it's a
that,
Zack
it is
Snyder. It's a
steaming
Zack
pile
Snyder.
of fucking CGI garbage.
Yep, it's a Zack Snyder cinematography masterpiece. As long as nobody says anything.
well, and the big thing is, like, if you watch, okay, so Justice League, the Snyder cut,
Yes.
very long, but it made sense that it was so long given how much depth of story there ended up being.
Right.
How could he go from that, where he takes 6 hours to tell you a story, to I'm going to jam almost as much story into 2 hours?
More story.
Way
Yeah.
more story.
And
Because,
did you
like,
see what he
the
said
number of
after the
characters you
backlash
get.
came out? Zack Snyder came out and said, "Oh, wait till you see my cut, motherfucker! You cut that.
Yeah,
This
you
isn't
cut
like
this.
you fixed Joss Whedon's bullshit that they tried to force feed us with freaking Dark Side. You did that. Don't.
Yeah.
And it's Netflix. They don't care. Put it on Netflix and make it 4 hours. Who cares?
Yeah, they'll
Right,
give
We
you
can all
6
walk
hours of
away.
story.
Yeah, they'll
They
do
would
it.
probably appreciate if you did that so that they could get more eyes on the screens for longer.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. That
And
was,
it would've
that was
been
the other thing
better.
I had a huge problem with, was when he comes up. Oh, wait, the director's cut's much better. Bitch, this was the director's cut, because you had your fingerprints all over this. Like, put the pipe down and go
Yeah.
fix your next movie, because this one's crap.
Yeah, this one's awful.
That is one thing about Netflix, and I'll just say this for Netflix in general, is they don't always give a fuck about the quality of what they're showing you, as long as it has some sort of shiny something that gets your attention.
It
Well,
works.
this was a shined up turd because I watched it, but
Yeah.
I
You
did
can't
not
polish a
appreciate
turd.
it. Yeah.
We put lipstick on a pig, ladies and gentlemen, and it was not bacon.
But still, God, the worst thing, the thing that made me so angry was Charlie Hunnam's fucking voice
Dude, it was
Just
so bad.
going
Please
all
don't.
over the
Like
place.
I said, I was coloring, like I have a bunch of coloring books that I got for Christmas. So I'm sitting there like with my colored pencils, right? And I'm like trying to follow along with the movie, which you can't follow along even if you're paying attention. Right. And I'd
I
be like,
tried.
who's talking now? Oh,
Same
wait,
dude. Yeah.
that's the same guy. And I really I know he was what Sons of Anarchy or
Yeah.
whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And he was
But-
really good in that.
I know him most from the shitty King Arthur movie that Mama loves.
Oh, that movie's so fucking. MJ loves that shit too.
That's his
Right?
real voice. Yeah.
That's so bad.
It's just like, okay.
Can we
It
stop
was
talking
so
about
bad.
this shit now? Can we move on to something better? Because
Yeah,
Okay.
I got it. I
I'm
got
just getting more
something
mad.
that before we go on with the agenda. Here's something that's a little bit of a palate cleanser. A movie you guys should go watch. Just be emotionally prepared that it's just like the other 4 movies. The prequel to the Hunger Games came out.
Oh yeah.
The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. We went and saw it on New Year's Eve. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was really good.
Really?
I fucking thoroughly enjoyed it.
Like we liked it so much, we came back home and
Yeah.
watched the Hunger Games movies over again.
Right.
And it was like, oh, did you see how this is connected to that? And then there's like all of this little stuff.
It ties the whole thing so close together. It's so interesting. It's a fucking damn good movie,
Yeah.
but very emotionally investing. Just like the other Hunger Game movies where you're just like, how the fuck can this happen? You're getting that from this like almost right away from the first scene. It is insane. It was very good.
Cool.
Yeah. The only thing about that movie at all that I didn't like is I thought Lucy Gray's accent was stupid and didn't make sense.
The Southern drawl.
Yes.
She sounded like she was from Louisiana.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, maybe that's how they talk in that district.
Thick Southern drawl, but she's supposed to be from District 12.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
That doesn't really follow
Well,
up. Does it?
they play it off so she's sort of from District 12,
Yeah,
but she's also like
she's
a
like a
gypsy.
gypsy.
So she's not really from District 12, but they like settle her in District 12. So like that part of it doesn't make any sense. But the rest of the fucking movie is really good.
Yeah, so the only thing I have to complain about the entire movie
Yeah.
is her accent.
Yeah.
Really.
But at least
super
it was
good.
consistent throughout
I'll
the
let it come
entire
out on
movie.
stream. I never actually saw the movies. I read all the books. The books were entertaining.
I enjoyed the movies.
The movies are pretty good.
You
Never
know what?
actually.
The movies actually stick pretty close to the source material. You know, obviously the shorter movies less so. But like when they did Mockingjay in 2 films.
And plus
Got
you
it.
get
Oh,
Woody
here we
Harrelson
go.
on screen.
Oh, and
9
it
o'clock.
is bedtime.
9 o'clock. Time for bed.
Hi, Aunt Mimi.
Hi, baby girl. How are you?
Good.
Yeah. Did you go back to school this week? Yeah. Is it good to be back at school? All right. For those of you at home who are listening, that was a 2 thumbs up
That's a twist.
with a twist. 2 thumbs up with a twist. That is definitely a family thing. But yeah. So school's going good.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you do at school today?
The ball is right there.
All right. That's a good thing to do at school.
What?
No.
Be
Nothing.
adorable.
No reason.
You can be
No.
adorable.
I'm not being horrible. I'm being super good.
Oh, you're not being adorable. You're being super good. Okay. Well, then you be super good
And
at
I'm
school
being
too.
adorable.
And adorable. Okay. You are adorable. You know we love you.
Yeah.
Great answer.
Yeah.
All right.
Hi.
Good night, sweetheart.
Hi, cooking.
Hello, sweetheart. How are you?
Hi,
You
All
guys
right,
have
good
done
talk.
chopped liver today.
Well,
Yeah.
at least as far as the youngest is
Yeah, because
concerned.
she's going to wear them today.
Julia could give no fucks about me. Okay, now we'll cut the swearing out again. Hi, Scarlett.
Hey, Uncle Gonzo, what'd you say?
I said nothing. I said
He
hi.
said that it was sad that Jula didn't say hi to him, but he's really glad that you're going to say hi to him.
Yeah. Hi, Uncle Gonzo.
Hi.
What'd you do today?
In,
Don't do that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay,
Trying to
cool.
remember. I learned a little bit more about Thomas Edison. I learned that he was deaf.
Okay. What else did you learn?
I also we're actually going to be going back in time into the olden days when people actually read newspapers. Now newspapers are just there to be there.
How old do you feel right now, Matt?
Uncle Goon used to read newspapers, like
Mhm.
the hard copy paper ones.
Mm-hmm.
We actually got to see one, even though you don't really see them anymore. We actually
No.
got to read them.
Yeah, was it cool?
What?
Did you
Yeah.
get ink on your fingers?
No. See,
Well, looks like you just took a shower.
I didn't. Well, I did take a shower a little bit ago, but
Yeah, because your hair's still wet.
a little bit.
Your hair's almost as long as Mimi's.
Almost.
Yeah, we just have to get mom and dad to let me color it purple.
Which
Mine's
my
that
mom's.
long too. See?
Well,
And I got a bigger
me-
head than you do.
Yeah, he also has a bigger forehead.
That's true.
Okay.
Well, I needed to get down to my butt, so I need to grow it a little longer.
Okay, well, you grow your hair a little bit longer, and when it touches your butt, I'll talk to your mom about putting some purple in it.
Well, my mom said like I can get those colors in my hair, but it has to be like one of those sturdy kinds.
Yeah. I understand. Your mom and I will talk about it. We'll talk to Aunt Spank, have her help. She's a really good hair person.
Yeah, she did. She dyed my hair purple, but the next day we went to Great Wolf Lodge, so that didn't do anything. That
Yeah,
just
so it came out in the pool.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you
I
go
think-
get ready for bed.
I think
love
they
you.
cleaned it. I think they cleaned it because the next time I went to Great Wolf Lodge, the water wasn't pink, even
Oh,
though
well.
it should have been.
Well, I hope that they did clean it in between the 2 years of which you were at there and then back again.
No, it was only one.
Well, excuse me. Okay, I love you. Go to bed.
Bye.
Love you.
Bye, Uncle Goon.
Bye.
Bye, Uncle Goon.
Bye.
Grandpa Goon.
Close my door.
And that ends our weekly touch base with Tanks Girls.
Right?
And
that a
now we
curtain
also
call?
know that Great Wolf Lodge cleans their pools at least once a year because Scarlett's pink hair was not still present
The
a
magic
year
of
later.
chlorine.
Yeah, her hair did not retain color even a little bit.
I
No.
have to say something to Aunt Mimi.
Okay,
Aunt
what?
Mimi.
What?
She can hear you.
Next time when you come over this weekend, can you please bring film?
Yes, dear. I will
I
bring
need some
film
film
for your
my
camera.
Huh?
I will put it on
Honey,
my
what'd you
table
say?
right now.
She says she'll put it on her table right now and bring it to you.
Okay.
All right, I
Bye,
love
Aunt
you.
Mimi.
Bye.
Bye, Uncle Goon.
Bye.
Grandpa
Good night. Sleep good.
I guess I'm chopped liver again. Jesus.
Scarlett got one of those little Polaroid cameras for Christmas.
The Instapics. Yeah.
Got it.
And we had a couple of them at the wedding, but not all of the film got used up. So I have a basket of like 10 packs of that film left. So I told her she could have a couple boxes of it. Because that is
don't
what
forget.
good Mimis do.
Don't
They
forget.
spoil the children, give them sugar, and then leave them with their parents.
Give them spiders as pets.
Yeah.
She
Hey, I
loves that
didn't get
damn
her a
thing.
pet. Julia wanted a pet spider, but instead I just got her a stuffy spider, even though she still tortures her mother with it.
Yes.
That's why she's my girl. Okay.
What were we talking about?
We were talking about movies.
Oh,
Okay, so while I was playing around on the interwebs trying to find stuff for us to talk about, I ran across a list of the 50 biggest box office winners of all time. Going back, I think the oldest one on here is like,
I think I saw 1939.
yeah. It doesn't quite go back all the way to silent films. Yeah, 1939 is on here. So figured we would kind of hit the high points, talk about a few of them, see if there's anything on here that we were surprised by or anything on there that we saw and don't think it should have been a box office hit. Because there are definitely some of those. All right. So number 50 of the 50 biggest box office winners of all time was Airport from 1970s.
Never saw it, but inspired one of my favorite movies.
Yes.
Mhm.
Well, and all of them were adjusted for inflation. That's the
Yes,
biggest thing.
yes.
Right.
They were all adjusted for inflation to make them all, up with the same Same financial values. Okay. So that is inflation adjusted lifetime domestic gross $619.5 million. So estimated tickets sold 66.1 million.
That's actually quite impressive.
And that is the lowest ranked one on this list. All right. Next one is Incredibles 2, which I love the Incredibles movies, so I'm happy with that. Then we have some Bond on here. We got Goldfinger.
I'm trying to find Matt singing the Goldfinger song.
All right.
I won't find it now, but I've got an incredible video of Matt during COVID, a couple sheets to the wind, singing Goldfinger.
If we can find it, we will link it below. All right. Beverly Hills Cop, 1984. Cleopatra, 1963. Which, I've seen that one a couple of times. See, Pinocchio is number 45. Estimated tickets sold 67.4 million.
Jeez.
So apparently it initially underperformed at the box office. And they say due to a large part of the outbreak of World War II, apparently that was not a good time for Disney films.
Wasn't a good time for
Oh,
A
a
lot
good
of
time
things.
for Zebco.
All right. Star Wars is on the list a few times, but here at number 44, we have episode 8, The Last Jedi from 2017. Home Alone, the original, because most of those sequels sucked. Independence Day, Will Smith. All right, boring, skipping through. Number 39 was Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man with William Dafoe. Willem Dafoe was a very good Norman Osborn, I think.
He was awesome. And they brought him back for the last one too, which was awesome. He's so good. Willem Dafoe's great and everything.
Yeah. All right. Jumping around a little, going up to number 35, another Walt Disney animated, and that was Sleeping Beauty from 1959.
God, that movie sucks.
Estimated tickets sold 72.7 million.
That's the worst princess movie. It really is. The fairies are the only interesting part.
I think she has the fewest lines of any Disney princess.
Yeah.
Well, she's
Makes
asleep.
sense.
She's asleep for most of it, yeah.
Yeah.
She's not asleep for most of it.
Dead for half of it.
You're right.
All right.
Does she have an animal
Fucking-
sidekick? I can't remember.
And she
does
gets
not. I mean,
creepy-
she has a
Creeped
group
on in the
animal
fucking middle of
friend.
the forest.
Okay.
So you have like the owl who wears the prince's hat so he can dance with her.
Oh yeah.
And then like
okay.
the bunnies are in the boots.
But not like an official side.
No, she just has a group of friends. I mean, you could definitely say that like Merryweather is the animal sidekick of that film.
Okay.
That's the short fat blue fairy.
Okay. Yeah, I'm with it.
All right. See, then we have Shrek 2 is on here. Ghostbusters from 1984 is on here. Avengers Infinity War. Estimated tickets sold $72.4 million tickets, $678.6 million. Adjusted gross. The Jungle Book.
Love it.
And this was the 1967 Jungle Book. Comes in at number 34. The Dark Knight. Let's see. Here we have another James Bond film, number 32. This is Thunderball.
Thunderball. Oh no, that's Tom Jones.
Yeah.
You was the
Thunderball.
Yeah.
Which they then remade into Never Say
Unusual.
Never Again.
Right. Yeah. both good. Both good.
Yeah,
Both
solid.
movies good.
All right.
Barbara
we got
Carrera.
some more Marvel is on here. Black Panther, The Avengers. Grease is on here.
Hmm.
Highest grossing musical of the 20th century. Sold more than 8 million copies of the soundtrack.
I bought one.
Yeah. I just think it's fabulous that John Travolta can hit higher notes than Olivia Newton-John.
Yeah.
Not anymore, though. He's apparently tried, and that is out of his vocal range at his age.
Me too. At my age. It was very much in my range when I was in my teens and 20s. It's not there anymore.
All right. Mary Poppins, Julie Andrews. Which is funny side story. Julie Andrews had been in the stage show of My Fair Lady. They went to go and make the film of My Fair Lady and told her that she wasn't the right fit for the part. Now, she'd been this character, 8 shows a week for however long. They went with Audrey Hepburn instead. And then Julie Andrews ends up being Mary Poppins and beating My Fair Lady in all of the awards. So don't fuck with Julie Andrews.
Because Julie Andrews is a shit.
Fantasia is on here, which
Love that movie.
I still watch Fantasia.
That is great sleepy time movie.
The Sting, which is one of my sister's favorite movies of all time. So Robert Redford and Paul Newman.
Do 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 do.
Let's see. Jurassic Park is on here. That's number 18.
Rawr.
We got some more Star Wars, more MCU. Ben-Hur is on here, which I think we all kind of knew that one was going to be a thing. Everybody kind of knows what that one is. Estimated tickets sold for Ben-Hur was 98 million.
Charlton Heston was a big deal.
Let's see. 101 Dalmatians is at number 12. This is the 1961 film. And I used to think that they just made up the names, and then I actually met a person named Perdita. Or Perda. It's Perdita is the lady dog.
Yeah. Perdita and Pongo.
Yeah, so apparently that's a real name. People use it. Let's see. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs is number 10.
That's the
Estimated
oldest
tickets
movie.
sold 109 million.
To kind of put that in
That's the oldest
perspective,
one on the
though,
list, 1937.
that's the oldest movie on the list, and there's basically like one movie a month, so it probably sold quite a bit.
What I thought
Well,
was
and they
interesting-
re-released it into the theaters a bunch, right?
Yeah.
So this isn't
was that the
Tell-
one?
a little bit of a runway.
Was that the one that? No, there was another one. I can't remember which one it was, but there's a movie on the list that was in the theaters for 4.5 years.
Avatar.
No, it was an old movie. I can't remember which one it was. Gone with the Wind, maybe.
Yeah.
Probably Gone with the Wind.
Gone with the Wind or Sound of
Yeah.
Music or one of those. But
Okay, so let's see, that was Snow White. Then number 9 is The Exorcist from 73. Number 8, Dr. Zhivago.
That's the worst movie on this list.
never even heard of it.
It sucks.
Number 7,
You
Jaws.
should have your head examined. That movie's great.
No, and the book sucks too. So
Jaws, though.
Jaws.
Jaws
Yeah,
is awesome.
Okay. Number 6, The 10 Commandments.
I bring you these 10 commandments. Oh, wait, wrong movie.
Estimated tickets sold 135.5 million.
Once
So
again,
let it be
Charlton
written.
Heston is the
So
man.
let it be done.
Charlton Heston was kind of a big deal.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right. Number 5, Titanic.
Also sucks.
Never,
That movie does. It sucks so damn bad.
you want
I saw it in theaters like 4 times because it was one of those things. No, okay. So you have to understand, I'm in like 8th grade when this movie comes out. and getting together with your girlfriends. Hey, we're all gonna go to the mall. Okay, do you want to go see a movie? Sure. What are we gonna go see? We already got tickets. We're gonna go see Titanic. Okay. That was also where I had my very first date. Was a Titanic showing. My boyfriend and I went with like 5 other people, one of which was my sister, and she sat in between us.
Carrie?
Is it that obvious?
Oh, God. That was an easy guess. She still tries to big sister you. Are you kidding me?
I was 14.
This is still a thing, modern day. Like,
There were
current
like,
time.
there were like 8 of us at this movie. And my sister sat in between me and my boyfriend at the time.
You fall wherever.
Okay. Number 4 is E.T.
There it is.
All right. Number 3 is The Sound of Music. Again, Julie Andrews is just freaking awesome. This is the one that had its very first theatrical run, lasted 4.5 years.
Yeah, that's the
There
one.
you go.
Like,
It
that's
was,
fucking wild.
It was number 1 at the box office for more than 6 months in 1965.
Jesus.
It's also probably one of very few movies at the box office during that year.
Probably, but it's still impressive.
4.5 years, though. That's a fucking span to be in the theaters. That's
Yeah, then that's how you sell
In the
142 million tickets.
Right.
right. Right.
All right. So then we have number 2 with Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope, which I can
changed-
completely agree with that.
Changed everything.
Which
Yeah.
once again was in theaters forever
Yep.
and was released multiple times.
Right.
And number 1 on the list, Gone with the Wind.
Which also sucks.
I've only watched. Okay,
That
so
movie doesn't suck.
What is wrong with you?
3 million.
What the hell is wrong with you?
I remember the first time I ever
meathead.
watched Gone with the Wind. My parents were
It's not
away
an
for the
exciting
weekend.
movie, but it's good.
It's boring.
I don't remember what they were
It's
doing. They were
slow.
gone. And Grandma Van Horn was babysitting us, and so she decided at like, I don't know, 8 or 9 o'clock at night that we were all going to sit down and watch Gone with the Wind, because it was like, I don't want to go to bed. Okay, let's watch a movie. I'm in 2nd grade. So
Oh,
that
it's
was
also
my Gone with the Wind story.
That movie would suck in that situation.
Yes.
You know what? I got to stay up past midnight. It was chill. I don't
Also, when-
remember half of the movie because I was probably asleep off and on. But
Not much happens in that movie.
no, it's fucking boring.
It's a lot of
That's no
talking.
point. I don't mind talking. This was boring. Why? One of my favorite I talked about it earlier. One of my favorite adaptations is To Kill a Mockingbird. Very slow, very talky, but it's interesting talking, not bullshit. I think Gone with the Wind is bullshit.
Opinions and assholes. Everyone's got one.
And I am one, and I'm okay with that.
I'm not going to like go out on a limb like Matt always does when somebody says something done on any of our podcasts and say that's the hottest take you've ever had, because that's his fucking go-to. But that is not like cold. That is not a cold take.
Well, I also said that Lord of the Rings sucks, so I don't know.
But we know.
The
actually,
long fucking walk with a
I
bunch
have
of short
finally
people.
met
That's what
someone
it
who
is.
agrees with you.
Huh?
I have finally met somebody who agrees with you on Lord of the Rings.
That the movies are more boring than the book?
And it pisses his wife off to no end.
I'd like to meet that person.
Andrew.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. Andrew Breedlove hates Lord of the Rings.
Breedlove hates it. That's
Yeah.
We
funny.
don't use full names.
Oh, sorry.
It's fine. He
Well,
doesn't care.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah. We were at an escape room for a friend's birthday, and for whatever reason, that movie, the first movie, was on behind the bar, right? And she's watching it, and she's like, "Yeah, I love this film." He's like, "Oh, I know what this is." She's like, "Yeah, because it's the first 3 minutes, and that's all you stay awake for."
I
He's
agree
like,
with
"Yeah,
him.
because it's a cure for insomnia."
You know why it's on the background? Because you only have to change the movie every 4 hours. That's why it's on in the background.
Are they going on a long walk, Frank?
Yeah, long walk with a bunch of short people.
That's my favorite part. That's my favorite part of that take.
You know, a takeaway from this, Disney, is what 10% of the list.
Yeah.
And that's just the stuff that they released, not counting the stuff that they own now, right?
Mhm.
Lucasfilm is 10% of the list.
Yeah.
Because there's five Star Wars movies and one Raiders, right? So
Mhm.
Yeah.
there's 5 right there. But Bond is 2 of them. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
awesome. And
That's
it's 2 of
pretty
my
cool.
favorites. Like Goldfinger and Thunderball are just brilliant.
Jaws is in the top 10. That's pretty fucking cool.
Wow, yeah,
that's awesome. But that movie
yeah.
was great.
So good.
Should rewatch that
That's
movie sometime too.
That's on my Mount Rushmore. For a long time, it was my all-time favorite, but
Oh,
there's been some other ones.
by the way, if anyone's interested, I also think Citizen Kane is incredibly boring, so go ahead and shit on me for that too.
No, I'm with you on that one. That movie sucks.
They're interesting because they were interesting 100 years ago. That's why they're interesting.
No,
Right.
Citizen Kane was awful. That movie fucking is garbage.
Okay, Tank, I'd like you to do me a huge favor.
Yes.
Come up with like 10, 15 things that you think are your most controversial opinions, right? And that will be the game that we play next episode. Is
Real or fake take, fake opinion.
Did Tank say this?
Fake
Real
hot
or
take.
fake opinion?
Yes. This is what we're gonna do.
Oh, I can do that.
Real or
Why-
fake Tank takes on pop culture.
Why do I love
Yes.
that so much?
Because I'm going to say some wild shit that a lot of people are going to be mad about.
Loki doesn't have to be about Loki.
I changed my mind on that by the end of the series.
Okay,
Yeah, I know
you
you
know
did.
what? And I missed the
You
cast
didn't
immediately
start
after that.
that way.
I've been meaning to ask you if you had changed your mind.
You did. You did.
I said by the end of
Okay.
the series, when they finally get to the end of it, I was like, oh, this makes so much sense why
Yeah.
it had to be Loki. But you had to get to the end of the series to get to that, I think.
But this is what we're doing in 2 weeks. So you have a homework assignment.
I love this.
Oh, this is going to be entertaining. Let's go ahead and
I
put it
think
that
we
way.
need to get dipshit on that cast.
Matt, bring your bottle of tequila. Make sure there's
Oh,
just a
Jesus.
pour spout on that bitch.
Yeah, just, no, I'll be in full detox after Mexico, so they may not.
Tell you what, I'll do the shots for both of us.
There you go.
Okay.
Lord of the Rings sucks.
Jesus Christ.
Walking with short people.
Long walk with short people.
Long walk, short people. You know what? That's pretty much Jake's
That's
life,
so
though.
good. That is your life. That's why you hate it. It's so real to you.
No, I hate
live
it
with a
because
bunch
I
of
could film the
hobbits,
same
bro.
movie in my house.
Yeah.
That's why.
You
I'll
live
throw up
with
a
bunch
green
of hobbits.
screen and I'll
Yeah,
walk my kids
all
for
wanna
4
eat,
hours.
And they all have tiny legs.
They just don't have the furry feet.
I don't know.
I will pay you
It's
$1 if you come up with a
different
walking
I
fucking
haven't.
tree.
Is that
She's
come
always
up with a
wearing
walking
socks.
tree?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll pay you
I can do
$1
it.
just to see that on film. Tank's walking
what?
tree. I want to see Tank play an ent.
I'll do that.
Oh, you know what we should do?
Uh-oh.
We should have a watch along with Tank of the
For
Lord of the Rings.
Rings.
You won't
No,
get him to
not
sit
of
still
Lord of the
for it.
Rings.
I'll do that with you.
All right.
The
That
full-
will
like
be
the
only
full-
on our Twitch channel.
Is that the
Because I will
12-hour
not-
experience?
Put that on the rest of social media because we'll get cut off. But Twitch, we can absolutely do it. Okay. Tank, do your homework.
Mhm.
And now we're going to go over to the Oscars. Mel Brooks, who, in my opinion, is one of the all-time greats, received an honorary award Tuesday this week. So let's see. Apparently, he was supposed to get this award before the writer's strike and everything, which is why his receipt of the award, as well as Angela Bassett, who also won an honorary Oscar, these were not televised. Obviously covered by media because we have it. It's all over the internet. But was not on TV because, writer's strike changed a lot of things for a lot of people. So, Mel Brooks, let's hear some hot takes.
So one of the things I got out of that article was that Mel Brooks this is his second Oscar win in his life. The first was as a writer for the movie Producers back in the 60s, which he turned around, and his acceptance speech was, "Thank you for the money and the award." And then he turned around and sold the award for more money because that's how tough times were for him at that point. I thought that was very interesting that, that person who was that creative was going through that much to get where he went to. And so technically this is his only Oscar he has now because he hawked the other one. And he is also, there's what is it?
He's an EGOT.
But he's also an EGOT. Nathan Lane called him an EGOT. Because the first O
because
is
of the
for,
two Oscars.
Yeah, the first O is for Oscar, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he got a second one, which is the I can't remember what it was, but he ended up getting. So he's one of the. There's very few people that have that. It's like him, obviously Lin-Manuel.
Lin-Manuel is not an EGOT. He's one letter shy. He does have a Pulitzer, so he could be a PGOT, but he's still one letter shy of EGOT.
But there's not very many people to do that, so I just thought that was fascinating. And Angela Bassett got an Oscar nomination.
Very different women.
Yeah, calm down there, Murder, She Wrote.
Yeah.
Sorry, we've had Angela Lansbury movies on a few nights this week.
I like Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
They're fun.
That's fun.
And Court Jester.
Court Jester's awesome.
Angela Lansbury was hot.
It's weird. Hot Angela Lansbury.
Okay, so Angela Bassett.
Yeah, she got an Oscar nomination for being in a Marvel movie, and Nathan Lane said that that's like getting a Pulitzer, writing for Reddit. Yeah, I thought that was fucking hilarious.
I mean, a movie's a movie. His stand on what's real and what's a real movie, what's not a real movie, is whatever.
That's not his point. It's still funny.
Enjoy the humor of it, but. Yeah.
Mel Brooks is the second greatest American satirist ever, and that recognition is well deserved, especially on the big screen. Like everything that he did, starting with Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein, all of it. It's just so good. So good.
Silent movie.
Spaceballs. Men in
History
Tights.
of the World.
The biggest disadvantage he had was that he wrote comedically. And until very recently, most comedic stuff hasn't been recognized since the 40s. So, he was very successful in a time where what he was doing wasn't appreciated. And that's the unfortunate reality of it.
Right. And a lot of it wasn't just comedically, it was satirically.
Oh, satirically.
Everything that he did had an underlying message to it, regardless of the vehicle. And he was, and it still is, simply brilliant. And I will die on that hill. He's the second greatest American satirist ever.
Mel Brooks.
I want to know who you think the first was.
Wait,
Parker and Stone.
That's Mel Brooks sprinted, so Matt Parker and Trey Stone could run. He got up. Most people say that quote and they say they walk so they can run, but Mel Brooks just took the ball and ran, and he made fun of everybody, and it made it possible for Trey and Matt to do what they did.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah. Was that we were actually talking about a film Mark had never heard of, Orgasmo.
We're going to talk about Orgasmo in the same breath as Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks would have loved Orgasmo. I'm sure he
would have. I'm sure he adores it. It's such a fun
I'm
movie.
sure. Yeah.
Right. It's such a freaking funny film.
Wild ass movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm explaining the concept of the movie to my husband. He's like,
I hadn't seen it.
He's
I
like,
still haven't seen it.
Really?
that sounds
You
like
haven't
a
seen it?
that thing.
Yeah. So
That's
she's
right down your
explaining it.
lane.
She's explaining it to me, and I'm like, "Huh, that sounds like Trey and Matt." She's like, "It could be," and then I looked it up. It turns out it's Trey.
Yeah, it's their first one.
Yeah.
What wasn't their first one? Cannibal the Musical was their first one. That
Oh,
was
you're
their
right.
first big budget movie.
Yeah.
But
Well-
Orgasmo, for those of you out there who have not seen it, look it up.
I need to watch it.
If you're a fan of anything they've ever done, you'll love that movie.
It's hilarious.
It is hilarious.
And it definitely helps you to understand why they wrote the musical Book of Mormon.
Oh my god, yeah.
They just shit on the Mormons on a daily basis.
Okay. So, moving right along past Trey and Matt, the Golden Globes have happened, and we have winners. Looking over the list of who the nominees were and who the winners are, I personally was a little fucking pissed at some of them because I feel like The Last of Us did not get the love that it needed. I
don't think they won a damn thing.
I'm trying to figure out how Spider-Man did not win for animated still.
I'm trying to figure out how
Doesn't make
Peaches got a
sense.
nomination for Best Song.
Because it's stupid and people are stupid.
Yeah.
Peaches and I'm Just Ken were both nominees for Best Song.
Well, for original song, yeah.
That's just awful.
But
I kind of understand
Pedro
the canon.
Pascal was nominated for Best Actor in a drama. Did not win it. Where was it? See, actress in a drama.
Oh, that was. Keep going this way. Keep going this way. That's probably on this page. Actress in a drama. No, where is it?
Oh, here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Here you go. Actress in a drama. And Succession, basically swept like the TV nominees. There really was, in my opinion, it just, some of the awards didn't make sense. What do you guys think?
There is an award. There is a show on this list that won multiple awards that I will never watch an episode of. We talked about it before we came on air. I will never watch
The Bear. Yeah.
The Bear.
I will never watch The Bear. It is a show about being in a busy kitchen when it's busy. I do that for work. I don't want to watch it when I get home. I don't need to see it.
I'm happy for Cillian Murphy. I feel terrible for Bradley Cooper. So apparently he was not happy about the not winning for Maestro.
Oh, Best Director?
No, Best Actor in a motion picture drama.
He was also nominated for director for that film.
Yeah. But yeah, he lost out to Cillian Murphy for Oppenheimer.
Another thing on this list that was interesting is I guess I have to go watch Poor Things now. They won a lot of awards for movie.
Mm-hmm.
And somebody had talked about it at my job this week, and I had not heard of it. And now I need to go watch it because it sounds amazing. It's, Mark Ruffalo, Emma Stone, and I talked about him a few times on this cast, was Willem Dafoe. So that needs to be one that we've added to the list of things we're watching.
The never-ending, always growing list.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Supporting actor, Robert Downey Jr. I don't care what film it is. I always love watching him. So that one is Oppenheimer.
I was tongue-in-cheek a little bit surprised that box office achievement didn't go to Taylor Swift.
Honestly, you're not wrong. That movie, based on her tour, made a fucking pile of money. Like, ridiculous pile of money.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild, actually, how much that ended up making.
That's because Swifties are nuts.
They are. They're hilarious, but they're nuts.
Mm-hmm.
So
And all stupid as fuck.
I would not say that.
They're not all
That's
stupid.
Jonathan, if you're watching.
There's the generalization we were waiting for. There it is.
They're all stupid as fuck.
They're all stupid as
No,
fuck.
they have more money than they need to and less brains to do it with.
Okay. You were talking about.
Hey, Mark, you know what you do when you
No.
find yourself at the bottom of a hole?
Stop digging.
Stop digging.
We went to the movies on New Year's Eve, and they still had a bunch of the Taylor Swift stuff where you could get like a personalized popcorn bucket that had like her face on it for $30.
Or you could get the Wonka top hat,
I wanted the Wonka top hat.
not for $30.
No, that one was only 22.
And that's before tax or before popcorn. Like you still have to pay the $20 fee to put the popcorn in it.
Put the popcorn in it.
That's
Got to get that
ridiculous.
AMC Stubs membership where you get that shit for free.
Yeah, well, not all of us have that.
I get the discount at Cinemark.
Nice.
It's actually not bad.
All right. So, was there anything else Golden Globes related that anybody thought was good, bad, ugly?
Was it Offerman that won for
Oppenheimer?
No,
No.
Offerman. Nick Offerman.
Okay.
For what?
I think he won for one of them for playing Bill in The Last of Us.
Oh,
I didn't see The Last of Us win anything.
I didn't see them win anything either, but he should have because
Did he not win that? I
that
thought he
fucking
did.
shit was heartbreaking.
I'm gonna
We
check.
were
I
actually
thought
just talking about that episode recently.
We were
thought I heard something about that. I'll look real quick. Make sure.
best performance was talk amongst yourselves. So let me
All
give you a
right.
topic.
So while everybody's looking over
Scrolling.
the list that I found online.
What?
Bless
Okay,
you.
yeah. He got an Emmy award. That's what it was.
Oh,
Right.
okay. Good for him. He
'Cause
deserved it. That
I
was
didn't see him in the
heartbreaking.
limited series list.
No, he got an Emmy for it. But yeah, there you go.
And we'll be seeing more of The Last of Us. In like 6 months?
That sounds right.
Hopefully before the end of the year. All right.
Should be
You
this
know
summer
what?
sometime.
With the way TV and movie release dates have been all over the place for the last year, 2 years, like I'm not counting on anything until I see it actually released on, some sort of platform.
Oh yeah, they're all playing catch up at this point. So
Right.
Yeah.
Those two strikes will do that to you.
On that note, any final thoughts regarding anything of relevance? Silence.
Not relevant, no.
I watched the first episode of Echo.
Oh, we'll
It's
we'll
pretty
talk
cool.
about that one.
We'll talk about that in 2
in
weeks.
2
Yeah.
weeks.
I'm gonna download that and watch it on the plane.
Yeah, it's fun so far. I'll put
Looks
it that
fun.
way. It's creative.
Yeah.
Their approach is
Yeah.
creative.
I'm excited for that.
I'm flying out to Kansas City next week, so I may do the same.
Yeah, you're going to Cabo on Sunday morning. She's going to Kansas City on Monday morning.
Ugh,
They are not the same trips.
no.
They are not the same.
One's from
It'll be
snow
much
to
warmer
snow.
where I am.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Similar weather, just 80% more humidity.
And I'll have more sand.
Yes, you will.
And
And yeah.
less snow and wind. I'm assuming.
And
All right.
clase azul.
So next week there'll be some travel happening. The guys will still get together on Wednesday to talk sports. Hey, these guys are still guys.
That is true.
That's what I mean. These two guys.
Yeah.
I
So
will not be there.
we may have somebody else guesting with them. We'll wait and see, or you could just get the Mark and Tank show. But that'll be next week, Wednesday, with My Brother's an Idiot. And then the following week, Matt and I will be back, and we'll be talking again about all things nerdy and pop culture related, complete with Tank's hot takes.
I cannot wait.
All right. King Goon, drop our socials.
Make sure you check out Nerds That Know anywhere on the social channels. Nerds That Know, that's all you need to know. You can find Mark's TikTok, Twitch, Twitter, and all the things at Poffle Time. Tank is obviously and still the owner and proprietor of Knox Nostalgia Collectibles. Find him there or at Tank Knox at all the social channels. You can find me on Twitch and Twitter at Puffalopagus or on TikTok at King Goonsmoke.
All right. And on that note, we will catch you guys next time. Thanks for joining.
Adios.
Come here.